This video is dedicated to Antonio Rouse. Antonio, thank you. Queen Marchesa, this time versus Geist of St. Traft, which I dare say is a more competitive list. That is good but not great. Let's keep. We'll just start off with the tap land in Isolated Chapel and pass the turn over. Alright, our opponent, they had to mulligan down to 5, which is noteworthy, but starting off with a Maze of Ith. So, effectively, haven't played a land yet. We are going to wait on the Urborg as long as we possibly can, because we don't want them to be able to tap that down for mana. So let's go Badlands and Loyal Apprentice. Might actually skip a land drop if it's going to help our opponent getting down the Urborg. Hit our opponent for 2 with the 2-1 haste. Then our opponent gets themselves into an island. And we can get a Triome probably with the Marsh Flats. It's just one more turn that we don't have to play the Urborg. So we're holding up a Braid and we'll go at Loyal Apprentice. In at our opponent. Yep, a Grim Monolith. So how's about a Braid onto their commander would be nice, but we've got plenty of spot removal that we could draw into, so... And we can also block effectively with Queen Marchesa on their commander, so let's go a Braid onto the Grim Monolith. Then crack Marsh Flats for the Triome. And now we look as though we're going to curve nicely from Queen Marchesa into Tevesh Sat. Throw our commander down here. And we'll get a Thopter token from the Loyal Apprentice, because we will control our commander at the beginning of combat. Obviously we become the Monarch with Queen Marchesa. Don't think we need to fear a Swiftfoot Boots or a Greaves onto their commander. So we'll go in with the Queen Marchesa, we'll turn everything in sideways here. Should be able to get the monarchy back from them easily enough with the Thopters. Noteworthy that they haven't used the Maze of Ith on us yet. And there we go, using it on Queen Marchesa. If they're going to untap any creature, I'd rather it was Queen Marchesa because it's the best blocker. And then draw our card at the end of the turn, and it's a swamp. So if they get down their commander here, we probably... we probably still go Tevesh Sat. We'll see what we draw into. Their commander... I think I mentioned a Braid in this before. It does have hexproof, so we couldn't have done that anyway. Alright, Disenchant. Maybe we go Hero's Downfall onto the Angel. Or we could just chump it with a Thopter. Play a land anyway. Just turn everything in sideways again, I think. And we'll hold back a Thopter to chump the Angel if we're going to go for the Tevesh Sat. Deciding not to Maze of Ith again, curiously. They can target their own Geist of St. Traft with that if they want to, which is what they might be going for. They're going to have to start connecting with Angels if they want the Tevesh Sat to go down though. Throw down a couple of tokens to chump the Geist of St. Traft with, assuming that it's going to be in combat. And then another land for us off the top. Okay, a Clone comes down as a copy of our commander maybe? Or maybe they get the Loyal Apprentice so that they can take the monarchy away from us. That would probably be a better idea for them, but instead going for Queen Marchesa, we can grab the monarchy back easily enough. I think it would have been better for them to go for Loyal Apprentice there, because they would have had a bunch of Thopters over the course of a few turns. Anyway, swinging in with both of these, not sure where they're going until the stack's emptied. Going in at everything with the Tevesh Sat, so we just chump here. And we can chump like that all day as far as I can tell. The Angel goes down at the end of the turn. And they will draw an additional card with the monarchy. We get an Assassin token, so if they want to swing their Geist of St. Traft into that, then they'll have to continue to leave their Maze of Ith untapped. Another land for us. Let's just go through to combat again. Loyal Apprentice triggers as ever. And I think we hold back a Thopter. We go in with Queen Marchesa and the Loyal Apprentice. Hold the other two back. Going to go for Hero's Downfall onto their clone, so that they don't end up with a bunch of Assassin tokens. They untap our Queen Marchesa, so I don't think they can save their Geist of St. Traft in combat, although they might be able to make it unblockable and stuff like that. Anyway, we get the monarchy back. And before they get some assassin tokens, we'll go Hero's Downfall. Play some Thrall tokens. Playing the Godless Shrine tapped. And keep our fingers crossed that we can start drawing into things that are not lands. Alright, Enlightened Shooter, maybe... not sure. Not sure how good Umezawa's Jitte is here. We'll probably just go Enlightened Shooter and search for something. Alright, speaking of tutoring up equipments, they go for Stoneforge Mystic. We've got that Disenchant held up. So giving our opponent a really hard time here. They might go for Trailblazer's Boots, something like that. Alright, a Godsend, they might just play that now. Whenever the equipped creature blocks or becomes blocked, exile one of the creatures, and your opponents can't cast cards exiled with Godsend. That's not relevant to us. So they're obviously not going to be able to equip that here. Do we want to bother with a Disenchant on that? Maybe we just go for that next turn. Encourage them to swallow up some mana equipping it, because it does cost 3. I think we're best just going for the tutor here. Swinging in with the Geist of St. Traft again. So I assume that they're doing the Maze of Ith trick. We'll block with our Queen Marchesa here. And they are both going in at the Planeswalker, as you would expect. So we'll chump the Angel and block the Geist of St. Traft. And they untap and remove from combat the Geist. So we just lose a Thopter there. Let's grab Enlightened Tutor. Probably go for the Jitte so that we can get the Stoneforge Mystic out of the way. You never know, they might have flicker effects and stuff. Or maybe Skull Clamp would be a better idea to start getting rid of these Thralls and get more removal in our hands. Skull Clamp's probably a better idea here. So let's go for that. Could have tried out the Court of Grace, I suppose, while we're not under much pressure. Start making Angel tokens. But I do like the Skull Clamp with Tevesh Zat. A few turns away from the ultimate there, but yeah, we probably plus it by 2 this and next turn and then go for the ultimate, take the Geist away from them. Loyal Apprentice doing some work for us this game. Not going to send the Loyal Apprentice in this time because they'll get rid of the Stoneforge Mystic and Loyal Apprentice to rid themselves of that, I'm sure. We'll just hold back a Death Toucher and a Thopter to block the Angel with. And they just take the hit both times here. So let's go for the Clamp. And clamp a Thrall token. Some fast mana off the top, just to rub salt in the wound for our opponent. We'll get both of those out. And that can be our Skull Clamp mana this turn. Clamp a Thrall. Wow, more lands, alright. Yeah, we'll just clamp another Thrall here, I think. And even more lands. Let's get rid of a tapped Thopter. Alright, Liliana, Dreadhorde, General. Could have done with drawing that sooner. How's about we go Mutavault to get Summoning Sickness away from that? Just a whole bunch of lands off the top there, unfortunately. We'll put the Clamp onto Queen Marchesa. And then we're just holding up the Disenchant for Godsend, I think. Draw another card, because we still have the Monarchy. Alright, Bastion Protector makes our commander indestructible. Get rid of the Urborg, the tap land, and a swamp. Godsend being equipped to the Geist of St. Traft. So we can get a 2-for-1 here. We can have them swing in to the Assassin. And that'll force them to go for the Maze of Ith if they don't want us to get that off. Or Umezawa's Jitte. We want to get some removal in play then. Yeah, we really want to draw into some removal, I think. Could always steal their commander away, I suppose, and then it's a bit less relevant. With the Tevesh Zat ultimate, I mean. But I'd obviously rather keep that in play. It's doing a lot of work for us with these chump blockers. So they swing in with what they hope is a safe attack on the Geist of St. Traft. So, yeah, we'll just go for the Disenchant now. And we'll have to hope that we get into some removal for the Umezawa's Jitte. Block with the Thopter, block with the Death Touch Assassin. And our opponent scoops to that, that's fair enough. They don't want to tap down their Maze of Ith in order to unblock or untap the Geist of Saint Traft. And then we could go for the ultimate on Tevesh in order to take control of their commander there. Could go for Liliana in order to have them sacrifice these two as well. And then we end up drawing a bunch of cards next turn. Oubliette does not get rid of their commander thanks to Hexproof. Be sure to leave this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you did enjoy it. I'm Tribalkai on the eedi-H channel. Thank you for watching. Queen Marchesa versus Thrune, the last troll. And we have, all three of our colours potentially, and some card draw, so we'll keep that one. Not sure if we're going to get into a white source, not sure what colours we're going to draw into, potentially off the top, so we'll get down the tap land and there's nothing to stop us cracking the fetch next turn. It is a Llanowar Elves from our opponent. And did not get into a land. Yeah, the hexproof is going to be a pain on our commander, on our opponent's commander. Let's crack the Bloodstained Mire. I think I'll go Transgress the Mine, just in case they're relying on some ramp to get out Thrune on turn 3. Alright, so it's lands. There's a Forced Adaptation, Whisperer of the Wild, so it's pretty much unblockable on their commander, and some Mana Dorks. So what we want to be doing is going in for some kind of board wipe, really. Could maybe get Elspeth with the Arena Rector or Liliana. If we manage to get rid of some creatures, then we can force them to sacrifice 2, including their Thrune. They go for Sakura Trivelder, which I don't think we knew about. Nope, so we know what they drew into this turn. They swing in at us with the Llanowar Elves. Alright, Collective Brutality. Target creature gets -2/-2. I think we're okay to just go for that, to be honest. Although they get out their Thrune anyway, don't they? They get a land here, they play a land next turn, they've still got Thrune, so... yeah, it's Night's Whisper then to try and keep on lands. And there is a land, so we've got Path to Exile available to us. Probably not going to use it though, because it just replaced Llanowar Elves with a land. So they go for their commander, and then it's Forced Adaptation. Beginning of your upkeep, put a plus counter on it, so their commander slowly gets bigger and bigger. We'll go for a Triome with the Polluted Delta. And then it is a Hymn to Turak. I don't think... we could try and hit the Trailblazer's Boots, I suppose, but I don't think we'll have much trouble pointing targeted removal at that. But we're not really doing much of anything else, to be honest, so... yeah, let's go for the Hymn to Turak. Alright, managed to hit the Trailblazer's Boots. So they've got a mystery card and a land to go for next turn. And speaking of lands, we miss our land drop, which is really bad for us. Plus counter goes on their commander. Played a land there, so they've drawn a land over the past turn or two, hitting us for 5 commander damage. Not playing their Mana Dork, which is noteworthy. Still not getting into a land. Maybe we just have to Vindicate on the enchantment then, because commander damage seems as though it's going to be relevant this game. Swinging in with both this time. And still not playing anything. We have a Plains now, so maybe it's Arena Rector in for Elspeth. I think Arena Rector is a good rattlesnake effect, especially because we managed to get rid of the boots. Should be really difficult for our opponent to deal with. They pretty much need a Lignify or Kenrith's Transformation, Song of the Dryad, something like that. Now they've got Fire Shrieker for double strike on their commander, so they could really do with Rancor some kind of trample effect. We can still chump with Arena Rector here. So they decide not to swing in towards that. And we managed to make another land here. So let's get down the Queen Marchesa. And we become the Monarch, of course. Hold up the Path to Exile, which I highly doubt we're going to use. And now we just start trying to accrue value past our opponent, because they've gotten a really good start off on us, but we've started making lands now, so hopefully we can find an answer to deal with Thrune. Or at least hold it back long enough to take our opponent out. Or a Prowler's Helm. Yeah, we've got Bedevil for that, but we're going to take a hit from the Thrune in the meantime. Luckily, we got rid of the enchantment. This would have been lethal commander damage. And they managed to take the monarchy away from us as well, so we'll get an... And they managed to take the monarchy away from us as well, so they'll draw another card. And we will get an assassin token here. Okay, an austere command. Do we want to just go creatures and equipments there? Play the land anyway. Yeah, if we're going to lose Queen Marchesa and the Arena Rector anyway, let's swing in with those. We can go wide on our opponent and get the monarchy before we blow the board up. Take the monarchy away from our opponent, and then we'll go for the austere command. Artifacts and creatures with CMC 4 or greater. Alright, and they go for regenerating the Thrune, so that means that we go for the Liliana here, so that we can force them to sacrifice those two creatures. There we are, it's Liliana, Dreadhorde General. That's -4. And a creature we control died there in the assassin token, so we draw a card, get into Urborg, and we'll draw another one because we are the monarch. Alright, Court of Grace for some chump blocking might be relevant. I imagine they just slam down their commander here, yep. Have to really hope that they don't get into a Rancor or anything. Just one more point of commander damage and that'll be us dealt with. Okay, Clifftop Retreat. This triggers on the upkeep. We'll get a 4/4 Angel, which might be relevant. Let's drop Clifftop Retreat. And I think we go Collective Brutality here. Have a look at our opponent's hand. We'll discard the oubliette because we're not going to be able to target anything anyway. So here we can choose an instant or sorcery and have them discard it. I'm thinking I just want to look at their hand here. Alright, they've got a Rex Sage and a Forest. And we'll drain them for a couple of life there as well. So let's plus on Lily. And I think it's just Court of Grace here to try and get into some Angels. And we get into Loyal Apprentice, that'll be some more chump blockers. Just fingers crossed that they don't top deck some kind of trample. Nope, so Wood Elves. And there is Rex Sage to draw out the Court of Grace. Yeah, just playing out their entire hand here. So we'll block with the zombie. Do we want to go Path at the end of the turn onto Rex Sage? Our creature dies, we draw a card. See what that is first. That is Caves of Koilos. Yeah, I think they've got enough mana at this point, so let's just go Path to Exile on the Rex Sage, just because it's got the most power. And then we've got Swords there as well. Urborg going into play here. Plus on Liliana again. Now if we get rid of one of their creatures, we can minus down on the Liliana again. Although I'd rather keep her in play, obviously. So we'll go for our commander again, get down the Loyal Apprentice. I want as many creatures in play to chump with as possible. So we get a Thopter with the Loyal Apprentice, just trying to stabilise at this point. And we're still the Monarch, so we draw a card, get into more mana in Sol Ring, which will allow us to keep recasting our Queen Marchesa over and over again. Incubation Druid, we know what they're drawing into with whatever card they play now because they're in top deck mode. And deciding not to swing in, so we buy ourselves another turn. And that is a Smouldering Marsh, which will come into play untapped, thanks to the basic clause. We could remove some creatures and then minus down with the Liliana, but I think I'd rather be greedy and try and keep Liliana in play. So let's go for another token, and then we can minus it down next turn. Go for the Sol Ring. We'll play a land, and we will hold up this removal. Not even going to bother attacking with anything, because like I said before, just trying to stabilise at this point. Gonna play really, really cautiously. Draw another card. And it looks like they're going for activating this, which will put a bunch of plus counters on it. Yep, adapt 3. Not bothered about that. And we get into a Thoughtseize, so if they hold onto a card, we can play that if we want to have a look. And they are holding onto a card by the looks of it. Alright, going in with Thrune. So I'm guessing that they've got something here. So maybe we just block with a bunch of stuff. They've got plenty of mana to regenerate their Thrunes, so the Death Touch isn't going to be all that relevant here. Yep, so going for the regeneration shield, as you would expect, they get rid of Queen Marchesa and a Thopter. And we do draw cards because the commander counts as dying now. The Thopter obviously dies as well. Alright, young Pyromancer is even more blockers. Let's go Hero's Downfall on the Incubation Druid. And we'll go for Bedevil onto the Whisperer just because it generates mana. Don't mind giving my opponent a point of life from Wood Elves and Swords to Plowshares. Tapping it down for mana in response, and that is regenerating Thrune again. They can't regenerate Thrune with a Damnation, so that is worth noting. I think we'll leave it there. They obviously can't regenerate from sacrificing to Liliana as well. Okay, Dragon Skull Summit, we'll just drop that straight away. I think our commander costs 8 now. So we'll get that into play. And then minus down on... yeah, we'll minus down on the Liliana. Get rid of a Thopter and a Zombie. And we'll draw some more cards with the Liliana. There is a Jitte. Lightning Helix I don't think is going to be relevant, but you never know. I think we've got time to go for the Jitte here. I'm not sure if they're going to go for Thrune and some Trample and some Haste in one turn. Yeah, maybe we just go Young Pyromancer here. And then we get a Thopter again. I think we can start fairly safely chipping away at our opponent's life total. So we'll go in with these. And just hope that they don't get Haste and Trample in one turn. Alright, Council's Judgment. Noteworthy that this doesn't target, so yeah, starting with you, each player votes for a non-land permanent you don't control. Doesn't say anything about targeting, so we can get around their commander with that. A Nyxbloom Ancient. That can eat a Swords to Plowshares as far as I'm concerned. And that is what they were holding on to previously. So we'll make ourselves a token and we'll give them 5 life. And now it's Oblivion Ring. Let's throw down a land. Go for the Jitte. They are empty-handed here. Put the Jitte on the Thopter. And we'll continue to swing in. Just going to hold back a couple of tokens here. Get the counters on the Jitte. Plus on Liliana. And I'm quietly confident that we're going to be able to win this one from here. Especially with Elspeth. We can minus down on that and take out the commander once again. Thrune coming down again, and they've 1 card left in hand, so we probably just drop Elspeth and minus that down next turn. And I think we're going wide on them actually. Yeah, Tevesh Sat is good as well, so we'll go like that. We don't control any creatures with power 4 or greater, so that is a one-sided Wrath. So just forcing them to tap the Thrune so we can get through. Make another Thopter token. We'll go for the plus on this Thopter from the Umezawa's Jitte. And then turn everything in sideways. And I think that should be it. If not, we've got the Helix. Yeah, down to -7. Big thank you to my opponent there. They are a friend of the channel, viewer of the channel, so a big thank you for playing that out. I'm sure the viewers are appreciative of that. Almost had us there. If we hadn't have gotten rid of that aura, then they would have had us a long time ago, so pretty lucky for us. Hopefully you all enjoyed that one. Be sure to leave it a thumbs up and subscribe. Leave a comment down below if you did, and there is a link through to Patreon in the description below if you want to support monetarily as well. Big thank you in advance if you decide to do that. I'm tribalkai on the eedi-H channel. Thank you for watching.